Hey guys, Grandpa bought you a couple of books, and what I want to do today is I want to read you the books and then send the books to you in the mail, and that way you'll be able to look at the books, play the video, and read the book along with Grandpa at the same time. So let's give that a try. This is the first book. This is called Morris Goes to School, and it's a book about Morris the Moose and his experiences when he goes to school for the first time. So let's get started. If you go to the first page, it's nothing that we want to be reading, so the beginning of the book is Morris goes to school, and there's Morris thinking real hard about everything. And so if you turn to the next page, that's where I'm going to start reading, and you should go to that page and then read along with me, okay? Here we go. Morris the Moose wanted candy. He went to the wrong store. Look at the store Morris is going to go into. Above the door it says F-I-S-H, and on the window it also says F-I-S-H. And that spells fish. And Morris wants candy, but he's walking into the wrong store. He's walking into the fish store. So let's turn the page and see what happens next. The man in the store said, "We don't sell candy. Can't you read?" And he takes Morris outside and shows him the front of the store, and there it says F-I-S-H, which is fish. Next page. Then he shows Morris's the candy store, which is across the street. And above the candy store, it says in big letters, C-A-N-D-Y. That spells candy. All right, so let's turn the page and see what happens when Morris makes it into the candy store. The man in the candy store said, "What would you like?" Morris looked at the candy. He liked the gumdrops. He said, "Give me some of those." Next page, the man said, "They are 1 for a penny. How much money do you have?" Morris looked. He had 6 pennies. "I have 4 pennies, he said. That seems confusing. Maybe Morris hasn't learned to count very well. Let's go to the next page. The man laughed. He said, "You have 6. Can't you count? Don't you go to school?" Morris asked, "What is school?" The next page, the man said, "I will show you. But first, here are 6 gumdrops. They are 1 for a penny, and you have 6 pennies. Let's turn the page together. Then the man took Morris to school. And there's Morris and the man walking into school, and all the kids are in their desks. Let's see what happens. The children said, "Oh, look, a real moose." The teacher said, "Hello, my name is Miss Fine." The man said, "He never went to school." Let's turn the page and see what happens next. Morris could not say anything. His mouth was full of gumdrops. Next page, Morris swallowed the gumdrops. Then he said, "My name is Morris the Moose. I want to learn to count. I want to learn to read, too. I like candy." Miss Fine said, "Hello, Morris. Welcome to our class. Please sit at a desk." Next page shows Morris trying to sit at a desk, and it's too small, and so the words at the bottom of the page say, "Morris tried, but he didn't fit." Next page, he had to sit on top of the desk. And at the bottom of the page, Miss Fine goes to the chalkboard, and she starts writing on the chalkboard, and she said, "We will now study the alphabet," said Miss Fine. "This is an A. This is a B." Let's turn the page and see what happens. Morris hid under the desk. He yelled, "Where's the B? I'm afraid of bees. They sting." On the next page, Miss Fine said, "I meant the letter B. This one here. It doesn't sting." And then Miss Fine said, "And next there is a C." Let's turn the page. "Oh, I like the sea," Morris said. "I love to swim." No, said Miss Fine. "I meant the letter C. This one here." And she points to the C after the A and the B that she wrote on the chalkboard. And next page, "And next," Miss Fine said, "there is a D and an E and an F and a G and an H and an I." Morris yelled, "I have an I. I have 2 of them." Let's turn the page. Miss Fine said, "I meant the letter I." Morris, please don't interrupt again. Morris didn't. Morris couldn't. Morris wasn't there. He had to leave the room, so he got the pass from up front, and a little piece of paper he has in his hand says PASS on it. That's the pass that you use when you have to go out to the bathroom. So on the next page, it shows Morris in the hallway, and there's two doors in front of him. And one says BOYS, and one says GIRLS. So the story says one door said boys, and one door said girls. Morris couldn't read yet. He opened the wrong door. Turn the page with me. Let's see what happens. A girl yelled, "Stop! You can't come in here. This is for girls. The other one is for boys." Next page, Morris told Miss Fine, "There's no door for a moose." Miss Fine put up a sign, and on the sign it now says boys and moose. So now Morris knows which door to go in. Let's turn the page and see what happens next. When Morris came back, Miss Fine said, "Now we will spell. Cat is spelled C-A-T. Dog is spelled D-O-G." And she wrote C-A-T on the chalkboard and D-O-G on the chalkboard. Next page, Morris looks sad. "What's the matter, Morris?" asked Miss Fine. Morris said, "You didn't spell moose." "Can anyone spell moose?" asked Miss Fine. A boy said M-O-S-E. Let's turn the page and see how he did. A girl said, No, it is M-O-O-C-E. "You are both wrong," said Miss Fine. "It is spelled M-O-O-S-E. Morris said, "Oh, I am hard to spell." The next page, Miss Fine said, "I think it's time for lunch." The children opened up their lunch boxes, and you can see all the kids sitting at the lunch table with their lunch boxes in front of them. Let's see what they're going to have for lunch. So turn the page with me. Some of them had cheese sandwiches. Some of them had cream cheese and jelly sandwiches. Some had hamburgers. Each of them had a piece of fruit, but Morris had nothing. And the next page shows what Morris did. He just opened up the window and leaned outside and ate some grass. And the story says he ate lunch anyway. Let's turn the page. After lunch, the children played. Some played ball, some jumped rope. Morris did both at the same time. Look what Morris is doing. Little girl is spinning his tail while the other girl jumps up and down around it. And then Morris is looking the other way, and he's catching the ball at the same time. So Morris can do a lot of things at once. All right, let's turn the page together. Miss Fine said, "Children, now it is time to rest." The children rested on their desks. They were taking a little nap. Morris tried, but he was too big. So next page shows what Miss Fine did. She let him use her desk. And there's Morris taking his nap at the teacher's big desk at the front of the room. All right, next page. When rest time was over, Miss Fine said, wake up, it is time to finger paint." Morris said, "I will hoof paint." And then on the next page, you see all the drawings that the kids did. And it says, "You can tell which painting he did." Can you figure out which of those drawings is Morris's? All the little kids have fingers and thumbs and fingers and thumbs, and there's Morris's drawing. He has big hoof mark. He did very well, but it looks very different from the children's. All right, let's turn the page and see what happens next. Miss Fine said, "Now we will study arithmetic. Who would like to count?" A boy counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. No, said Miss Fine. "Who knows what comes after 8? Morris said, "I know. Bedtime." Morris thinks bedtime is 8 o'clock. All right, let's turn the page and see what happens. 9 is the answer, said Miss Fine. 9 comes after 8. Who knows what comes after 9? A girl counted on her fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, she said. 10 comes after 9. Miss Fine said, "That's right." Morris looked sad. "What's the matter, Morris?" asked Miss Fine. So let's turn the page and find out why Morris is sad. Morris held up his hoofs. "I can only count to 4, he said. Miss Fine said, "You can count higher than that. I will show you." She counted on Morris's hoofs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's turn the page and see what happens. Then she counted on Morris's antlers. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Morris said, I like to count. I will never wear a hat. Miss Fine said, now I think it is time to sing a song. What is a song? Morris asked. Let's turn the page together. Miss Fine said, I will show you. And she sang, I've been working on a railroad. What is a railroad? Morris asked. A railroad has tracks, said Miss Fine. They look like this. And she went to the chalkboard and drew the tracks for the railroad on the chalkboard. Oh, I know what tracks are, Morris said. Firemen climb them. Let's turn the page. No, said Miss Fine. Firemen climb ladders. Ladders go up like this. Morris said, let's sing another song. I'm learning a lot. Miss Fine said, no, we just have time for a game. Let's play make-believe. You see the clock on the wall says a little before 3 o'clock, so the school day is almost done. Let's turn the page and see how the game goes. A girl said, I'm a tree, and she's holding up her arms like long branches of a tree. A boy said, I'm a monkey, and he's scratching his armpits, looking like a monkey bent over in the jungle. Another boy said, I'm a moose. Morris and the children laughed because he's holding up his fingers behind his head so they look like antlers. Morris went to the coat closet. Let's find out what happens next. Turn your page. He said, I'm a coat closet. The children laughed again, and Miss Fine laughed too, because Morris is at the front of the room and he has all their coats and all their hats hanging all over his antlers and his hoofs, and there's even a baseball cap hanging on his tail. And the kids all thought he was pretty funny. All right, next page. Then the school bell rang. Can you see the bell right behind Morris's head? And it's ringing, and it's the end of the day. Morris asked, is that the ice cream man? Miss Fine said, no, it is time to go home. Morris gave the children their coats. Next page. The children and Morris said, goodbye, Miss Fine. Miss Fine said, I will see you all tomorrow. Morris ran to the forest. He took his money from his hiding place. He wanted candy. Next page. This time he went to the C-A-N-D-Y store. He went to the right store. He said, hello, I want some gumdrops, please. The man said, hello, they are 1 for a penny. How much money do you have? Let's turn the page and see how much money Morris has. Morris looked. He had 5 pennies. I have 5 pennies, he said. Give me 5 gumdrops, please. The man gave Morris the gumdrops. He said, you have learned arithmetic. What else have you learned in school? Turn the page with me. Morris said, I have learned to hoof paint. I have learned to spell moose. I have learned to be a clothes closet. And I have learned all the numbers in the alphabet. The man said, you mean all the letters, don't you? Last page of the story, there's Morris. Morris wanted to say yes. Morris tried to say yes, but Morris couldn't. His mouth was full of gumdrops. He ate them all at once. That was a great story. Okay. Once again, that was called Morris Goes to School by B. Wiseman. It was a great story. I had fun reading it to you. I hope you enjoyed it too. Have a good day, you guys.